We have words that are in the Quran and that are in our tradition whose meanings have changed in recent years. It's very difficult to actually break from this, because even the words that you trust the most and you are so sure of your knowledge of them could actually be polluted. So we force this new understanding on the Quran. Ibn Taymiyyah was speaking about the meaning of a nafs in the Arabic language and in common usage, but he never mentions a sense of self. We have a problem today that there are words, and this is something, by the way, that is studied in the sciences of Islam. It's called mas'alatu al-asma' wal-ahkam, names and the rulings behind these names, concepts and subsequent rulings that pertain to these concepts. We have words that are in the Quran and that are in our tradition, our Islamic tradition, whose meanings have changed in recent years. And they have acquired new meanings or new shadows of meaning, new usage. Okay? And these new meanings have become the norm. They have become the standard in our day-to-day interactions. Then the original meanings have been lost or have been sent to the background, and most people are not aware of them. So we take those new meanings and we read the Quran or we read the books of our scholars and we apply these new meanings. So we force this new understanding on the Quran and on the tradition and the heritage of our scholars, and we get the wrong conclusions. All of us are guilty of that. It's very difficult to actually break from this, because even the words that you trust the most and you are so sure of your knowledge of them could actually be polluted. I myself am guilty of this. For quite a long time, the word nafs, which is translated as the self in English, when psychology and the study of the self, right? And then you have in Western psychology, you have, your sense of self. They have concepts of your lower self, right? Your ideal self. And they call it sometimes the person, the sense of the person, the person behind your eyeballs, right? That sense of person. This has seeped into the Arabic language. They started talking about what? Self-confidence, right? They started talking about your future self. They started talking about your ideal self, your best self. And I mean, in psychology, sociology, you'll see that they study actually your ideal self, your future self, your possible selves, right? These are things then self-esteem. So there is so much focus on this sense of self. And then obviously the Arabs and the Muslims who speak other languages as well, they have borrowed those new meanings and forced them into the words that they had. So the Arabs used for self, nafs. And let me take you on a personal experience. For decades now, I've been applying this modern understanding of the word nafs or self to the Quran and to the Islamic literature, the work of our scholars. And I've been arriving at conclusions. But something always puzzled me. So for example, I was reading Ibn Taymiyyah, and Ibn Taymiyyah was speaking about the meaning of a nafs in the Arabic language and in common usage. But he never mentions a sense of self. And it always puzzled me. I said, why? Like, that's the most obvious meaning of a nafs, right? Why doesn't he talk about this? Because he mentions the meanings of nafs. One of them, or the main ones, he says, it is the set of it's your instincts, your desires, your base desires. which in English they call it the lower self, right? And then he speaks about the self being just a reference. It's more like this or that. I'm speaking to this person, himself, herself. We're not talking about a sense of self, but we are just referring to that person. So it's a reference to that person. It's like a pronoun. It's like he, she, this or that, like something like that. That's all what it is. It doesn't refer to a sense of self, right? It doesn't mean like this organizing concept or meaning, central meaning in your mind that captures who you are. It doesn't talk about that. So again, let's use it in the sense of a pronoun. And it was used to mean the desires, the instincts, the base desires. And it's also used to refer to blood. Because yes, one of the usages in the Arabic language of nafs is actually blood. Because nafs, this root, nun, fa, sin, in the Arabic language, it means for something to spread within open cavities. So this is why breathing is called nafas. Why is breathing, the breath is called nafas? Why is it called nafas? Because the air goes into your lungs and fills those pockets. And then the fourth meaning, and this is what blood fills your veins and your arteries, is why it's called nafs in the Arabic language. And the fourth meaning, which is again very common in the Quran, is the soul when it's in the body. But it refers to the soul as a spirit when it's in the body. Why? Because the soul fills the body. Okay? It fills the body. It spreads through the body, and this is where it resides. So it spreads within this body, right? So it fills it up.